This year, the tour has been unique because we've been able to participate both in an international festival in Mexico and then also do a domestic tour in the southern states. And it's been a nice blend of representing our culture, the American culture, down in Mexico, and getting to share that with others and participate in their cultures, which is always a fun mix.
Something that I really enjoyed from Mexico was the simplicity of the faith from the people. We had a testimony meeting, and we also got to go to church with the natives there, and their faith is just so pure, and that really strengthened my testimony in that everything takes effort, but it's having that foundation that we can use to grow our testimony stronger.
One of the experiences that I can remember is from Mexico. Right before one of the parades, we went and started talking to a group of kids that were in a mariachi band. They had only been doing it for 1 year, but they were so excited to show us their instruments and to tell us about all the things that they were playing. I just thought that was so cool how eager they were to share their culture. It made me want to share my culture more. Sometimes I feel like I don't really have a lot of culture because I learned so much about other cultures. But seeing how excited other people are to share made me more excited to share what I have to give and to be excited about the things that we were there showing. During one of the parades, I saw Michaela go over and just start dancing with some people while we were just sitting there and waiting, and I decided to go and dance with this little girl, and just to see like the glow in her eyes, she just lit up.
When we were in Mexico, I remember the most, and what memory I cherished the most was when we went to a middle school and performed for kids, and what really stood out to me was after the show when we were talking to everybody. I don't really speak Spanish, and the kids didn't really speak English, so we couldn't talk to each other very well. But there was one kid who came up to me, and after not being able to talk to each other, he brought his friend to me who spoke English. But he didn't really speak English. It seemed like he had maybe been speaking English for like a few months. Like, that's how much he knew. He tried his very, very hardest to talk to me and be able to translate for his friend. But something about him trying to talk to me meant the world to me. And what came to mind was the phrase, "The Lord loves effort." And I've heard that, but I feel like when we were at that school, I really got a taste of what it meant that the Lord loves effort. That one conversation is what I remember most from being in Mexico performing for a week. So I can only imagine what our tiny, minuscule efforts mean to God, even though they may not change anything in the grand scheme of things.
There was a woman at a parade, and she beckoned me over. So I leaned closer so I could hear her better, and she just grabbed my face with both of her hands, and she gave me a kiss on the cheek, and then she just had the biggest smile. It reminded me of the story of Jesus Christ when the woman just wants to touch Christ's robe. So I felt like particularly touched by this woman. Like, all she gave me was just a little kiss on the cheek, but like it just made me so humbled by like this gift that she gave me, and it kind of stayed with me like for the rest of the day.
It's genuinely changed my whole life in the way I'm able to connect with Mexico and feel the love from Mexico back to me and to my team. It's such a difference from just knowing about a people, but you get to be there and be a part of it.
The second part of the tour, where we're in the southern states, has been a more unique experience for us. It's been something that I haven't been able to do before, taking our international show to many different states in one trip and being able to share these international dances with students from all ages. It's been really fun to expose them to the wonders of international dance.
Being able to dance the Charleston in Charleston was an experience I will never forget. Having the opportunity to perform in the homeland of where this dance was created.
My first show that I ever saw was Salmon, and now to perform it here on this stage and throughout this, Mexico and the southern states it's touching. It's something that I'll cherish with me for my entire life.
We went to an elementary school in, I believe it was South Carolina, and the students there, from the moment we entered the gym in our Oberic Polish costumes, they were really excited to see what we had to show them, and we talked with them, and then some of the teammates started doing tricks or backflips and things, and the whole audience was getting really riled up and really excited for our show. And then when we started dancing, that energy didn't disappear. They really loved seeing all these different styles of dance, and they wanted to be involved. When we did our Salmon dance from Indonesia, where we're using a lot of hand motions, they started clapping along with us and trying to join in with the dance, which was so fun to see. There's just a natural magnetism to dance that makes people want to get involved.
When we were in Charleston, we met this young man named Wei. As we were passing this random guy on the sidewalk, he turned around and started to just talk to us. He let us know that there's a special light about us, and he just knew he wanted to talk to us for some reason. It just made me realize, like, we really do kind of spread this light everywhere that we go. It was just like extra surprising and just like really awesome and exciting to see him after the show, standing up with everyone, applauding us and sharing our light.
So my name is Wei. I am from China. So I drove here tonight just to see them, and it's just so worthwhile. After the dance, they took the time to talk to me. We could just tell how wonderful and how beautiful they are. I'm so grateful to be here tonight.
We had a show just a couple days ago for an elementary school where we showed up. We thought we were gonna have half an hour to kind of get ready, and when we showed up, they were like, hey, the students are sitting down ready for you to perform. You got 3 minutes. And we were like, okay, let's go. And we went out on stage and danced, and it was awesome. We had a great time. The students loved it. But that hard work, that, for lack of a better word, just grueling nature of it is what makes it amazing. Because then when you have the moments where you perform, when you have the moments when you see, a child or their mother just mouth agape, seeing something they've never seen before and experiencing something they've never experienced before, that means more to you because you've seen every side of it. It's not just the dancing, it's not just the rehearsals, it's not just the costumes, it's the whole package of it coming together.
For me, folk dance has meant having a community of people that love and support me, and in turn I love and support them. It's really been a place where I can be myself and I can push myself in a safe place where everybody's just so supportive.
I can't even begin to explain what it's like to be on a team like this. You see dance teams a lot and you can tell, oh, they're really good friends and they're really tight. The thing that draws me in about folk dance is how close we are. Because we're not just sharing in dance, we're sharing in culture, we're sharing in experiences. I've never been to Indonesia. I can't tell you a thing about Indonesia, but I can dance a dance from Indonesia. That's something unique and something really powerful. Most of us aren't dance majors. I'm studying history, my wife is studying accounting, and her and I both dance together on this team. There's not a way to explain the connection and strength that there is on this team.
This year has gone by extremely fast. I feel like we had our boot camp just about a month ago. It's been over 9 months and we're at the end already. It's been such a fast-paced experience for me. It's been very challenging in so many ways, but I've made a lot of friends along the way. I feel like I was taught by the best director and mentors and teachers as well, and so I'm just really proud of all of us.
My experience in IFTE has been life-changing for me. It's totally shaped my college experience and shaped who I am and how I think about other people.
I've experienced every single emotion imaginable through this team. I've experienced some incredible highs, I've experienced some really deep lows that I've had to work through, and it's really helped me evolve as a person.
Mountain Strings has been one of the most incredible and challenging things that I've really ever done. Something about the touring experience that you could never feel in a classroom really boils down to personal connections with other people from different cultures. It's one thing to learn about other cultures, other countries, other styles of dance and music in the classroom from textbooks. It's another thing to do that dance or to perform that music. But when you get to talk to someone one-on-one, when you get to play a Romanian song with a band from Romania, they're teaching it to you, they're helping you along with the music. It's something that I've never been able to experience in my life outside of Mountain Strings on tour.
This tour will remind me of how dance affects people. I was talking to a few people before the show and they were excited to see it. After the show, I went and talked to them again just to see what their experience was. And they told me that they had never seen so much light on one stage before, and that they would watch it again and again if they could.
My experience on tour has been, I'd say, organized chaos. tour has been an opportunity to bond with people on my team, but also bond with people from different countries, from different states, from different backgrounds. And it really helps me remember that we are all children of God. As we present these different dances, it helps me remember these are all dances that are performed by people from across the world. And I've seen people come up to me in my folk dance experience and thank me for that Ukrainian dance or for that Mexican dance because they're refugees or they moved a while ago or their grandparent was from that country. They just say thank you so much for performing that dance. I recognized it, that music, that felt like home. That really meant something to me. Basically, they're saying thank you for seeing me in a world of so many people and remembering my culture, my experiences, and my place as a child of God.
As I became involved with the program, I found that this program just draws to it the people who are friendly and open-minded and want to connect with other people and learn about other perspectives. And so it's been a really neat opportunity to become more involved with the folk dance team and the folk dance club.
In recent years, there's been a lot of like, oh yeah, I've heard about members of the church and that's not for me, or I did that and I decided it's not for me. And I think that when they choose to come see us, knowing that we're still part of the faith, even if they have or haven't been part of the faith for very long, that there's something about the gospel that still reaches their hearts. We've had a lot of families come, a lot of people's parents that don't get to watch dancers come very often, but I also think that there's been missionaries bringing investigators who get to hear about the gospel and see that we're just normal people who like to dance and enjoy life. And when the missionaries bring their investigators, then we get to just share that with them. I think that helps create a more personal connection to the gospel.
Well, I'm just really grateful for folk dance. I never expected it to ever come into my life. It wasn't until I learned about folk dance that I learned how important it could be, learning about other cultures and developing that understanding and appreciation for people around the world. It has helped me become a better person.
I think one of the coolest aspects of being on tour has partially just been how brutal it is. We are working nonstop. When we were in Mexico, it was hot and humid, and you start our day at 8 a.m. and end our day at 10 p.m. and be, in 98, 99 degree heat with, 90% humidity. And it was awesome. It was brutal, but it was awesome. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes. We're setting up light fixtures on the sides of the stage. We're setting up light fixtures above the stage. We roll out a whole rubber marley floor to keep the floor from being dented and broken when we dance on it. And then at the end of the show, we do our full show. We dance for an hour and a half. We're all exhausted. And then at the end of the show, we take all of our costumes, pack them in a tight little box, roll up the floor again, close all the lights, put them back in their boxes and load them onto a truck and to lug to the next location and do it all again. And it is non-stop, and it's so much fun. And I think that kind of recognition of the joy in the labor and the joy in the work of it, and how fulfilling it is, not just to perform and not just to do like the time on stage. Of course, it's amazing. It wouldn't mean much to me without the work, the minimum 9 hours of rehearsal, sometimes 20 to 30 hours of rehearsal every week.
When I joined Mountain Strings 2 years ago, I was kind of in a rough spot. Didn't really feel like I had much of a direction in my life. And so when I found out about Mountain Strings, it really kind of helped highlight what I love, which is music. Not only that though, it helped me appreciate just the diversity of God's children and all the lives that are lived that only He understands. But I can try, maybe even in a small way, whether that's through music or dance or just trying to be friendly, I can try and relate with that person and hopefully touch them in a way that helps them feel God's love.
There's nothing like folk dance anywhere else on BYU campus. There's nothing like folk dance anywhere else in Utah or maybe even the world. I know that other people do folk dance, and so I'm more hesitant to say in the world, but it's just been so special. It's a way to understand people's cultures in a way that you can't do that anywhere else. There's this community that you can't find anywhere else. People that are just here because they love to dance, and they're kind people, they are helpful people, they want to support and uplift, and so I feel like I've been in a very supported and uplifted environment.
It's interesting to see how different cultures
dance. And I feel like a lot of times people are familiar with their food or their music, but dance is something that a lot of people don't necessarily know about. And so by learning these dances, I'm also learning about these certain aspects of these cultures that I just didn't know about.
It is extremely hard, but it is also extremely rewarding. You'll get to a new venue, you have no idea what challenges it's going to be. Is the stage too small? Is the stage too big? What's the changing situation like? We've had stages where we had to run underneath the stage, we had to run outside, we've had to like squeeze in a small gap behind the curtain, and you just learn to adapt. In the rehearsal process in class, you learn the material well enough so that way you can do it on any stage and in any environment, outside or inside.
I am so grateful for this opportunity and for the generosity of people that donate to this program and to our experiences here, because we're able to go out and see the world. Ignorance comes from not being able to see the world. It's very easy to kind of think of other cultures and other people as outsiders and as the other when you've never talked to them one-on-one. But when you're talking to people from Serbia or from Mexico or from Canada, you really see them as fellow children of God. You see that you have so much in common with them, and it's so much more difficult to hate them when you know them on a personal level. And so that's one of the things that I'm most grateful about tour, that I've had this opportunity to get to know people and to learn to love them and try to love them as Christ did. I really feel like it's been able to help me broaden my perspective and see all people as children of God.
I feel like dance is such a segue into diving deep into a culture. Dance is such an authentic part of a culture. When you are able to participate in a way a culture moves, I feel like you gain a deeper sense of understanding and also love for the people, because you are embodying them.
The one BYU aim that stuck out to me the most was intellectually enlarging, especially on this tour, because throughout the year we practice these different cultures. We're trying to put ourselves into this role so that people in the audience can see themselves through our dance. We strive to broaden our perspective so that we can accomplish these hard techniques and tasks so that they can feel loved and seen. Folk dance, it's the secret to world peace for me, because there's no other environment that I've been in that I've seen such unity among people. And dance is such a unifying factor for people because it's a universal language.
I got an anonymous note the other day from someone, I still don't know who it was and I can't recognize the handwriting. And it said that they really admired me and my dancing and that I always make them feel comfortable and that I see them and understand them. And it's not something that I thought of myself as doing, but being told that made me much more aware of how I interact with people and how I affect people. And it's reminded me of how other people have affected me, and I've started telling them more since this is the last week I'm going to see a lot of these people.
I really felt a connection to one of the 4 aims of BYU, which is leading to lifelong learning and service. I think that this aim perfectly describes what we do on this tour. We go out to serve people. We've done outreaches with the youth and with other cultures and other people at the festival, and we've been able to serve those people, whether it's been through dance or through the gospel or even through helping one another.
No matter where people come from, what their background is, what their religion is, their gender, their age, there's always smiles on people's faces when you try and teach them like a clogging step, or when they're teaching you their own step and you're trying to figure it out. And it's just bright faces and smiles, and there's just so much love because you can connect with someone on this other level and kind of put the other things of the world behind you a little bit. So this idea of unity in folk dance has changed the way that I see other people. When we come together, it's kind of like a little piece of heaven because God would want us to be all together. I've really loved folk dance. It's been one of the best experiences at BYU, and I will remember it for the rest of my days. And I mean, for him and my husband and some of my closest friends. And I just hope that I'll be able to continue this with my own family, and hopefully they'll be able to come and teach folk dance too. And even as I travel around, maybe I'll be able to interact with people throughout the world because of my experiences and because of the knowledge that I have now of different cultures from around the world, but I really think this is an awesome program, and I'm so grateful that I had this experience at BYU and how we get funded to do these incredible things and meet incredible people.
I think the biggest thing for me has just been the people. I've really found a group of people that I love to be around, where I feel accepted and I feel the truest version of myself.
Being a part of this group has been a blessing in my life, and I think God led me to it. At a time where I was searching for a sense of purpose, when I felt like I didn't know if I had much, being on this team has been just a big hug from God.
You know, in college, a lot of people, they go take their classes and they have those friends for the semester and then they leave. You never see those friends ever again sometimes. But with folk dance, I've been able to create these really lifelong friendships that I don't think a lot of college students get to experience.
I'm sad to think that I won't be able to have these experiences, not only learning cultural dances, but performing them, trying to perfect them and present them in a way that's accurate. So that part really saddens me. But I'm also excited for what will come in the future. Because of these experiences that I've had, I've made connections and gained skills and knowledge that will allow me to pursue this passion of dance and cultural dance in particular in the future. Folk dance brought us together, but we were able to form a bond that will hopefully continue throughout my life and something I can benefit from forever.
This is one of the chapters in my life I don't want to come to an end. I think sometimes we take for granted while we're in the moment of just, oh, this will last forever. When it comes to an end, you realize all of the things that have happened. Like, I'm so sad to leave this group. I'm so sad to leave Jeanette and her wonderful mentorship, because she's been an amazing mentor to me.
It feels like the end of an era, because I don't really think I'll be dancing very much after this. And so I really want to make the most of every moment. And I've really been thinking about not what I can get out of the show, but what the audience can get out of it. Because I've gotten so wrapped up in my own performance and how I can do better. And with this being the last one, it doesn't matter if I can do better after this. What matters is the lasting impact that I'm gonna have on these people.
Tonight we have our last performance, and it's bittersweet because it has changed me as a person and how I see the world. Every minute has shaped who I am, who I want to be, how I see my future, what my career is. I can say my major is folk dance because I fell in love with it from the very beginning. And knowing that this is my last performance, I feel indebted to it. The customs, to the cultures, to the people, to my directors. This last performance will be a joyful one, but it will be sad because I know I won't be able to do this again, especially with these people, and that is sad for me. But I know that there's so much more in life that I look forward to because I've experienced cultural dance and folk dance at BYU.
Just the memories I've made with my teammates, that's something that's going to stay with me forever.